Hello, friends, and welcome into NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey. Alongside me is Mitchell Renz, back again with some rumors, news, and, of course, the latest trade buzz with the NFL trade deadline almost here. Let's dive into a non-trade item. Drew Brees, Mitch, is he about to return to the Saints ahead of schedule?
Well, Tom, according to Steve Weiss, Drew Brees is planning on playing versus the Arizona Cardinals in Week 8. The only issue is there is still not a definitive decision on whether or not he's going to play. But from what it sounds like, if Drew Brees wants to play, Drew Brees is going to play.
He is Drew Brees, after all.
He's God. I believe they call him Breezus in New Orleans, from what I hear. Here's the thing, though, Tom. I don't really know if the Saints should ultimately play Drew Brees. I think that they can beat the Arizona Cardinals with Teddy Bridgewater.
Because I was right about Teddy Bridgewater.
I mean, you were right about Teddy Bridgewater being
good at football.
I do think he's good, but also that
all
Saints
I wanted to be
team,
told was
that
I was
Saints
correct.
team is also very good at football too. So New Orleans, though, they have a Week 9 bye. It's kind of why I alluded to maybe they rest him Week 8, then obviously they rest him Week 9, and then he can come back and play. But Tom, here's one question: Are the Saints the best team in the NFC with Drew Brees? Or are they better with Teddy Bridgewater?
Well,
is that what you're going to tell
no,
me?
I'm not going to say that. As the resident Teddy Bridgewater stan and truther and correct person, they're better with Drew Brees at the helm. I am still going to go with the Niners until they lose a game.
Okay.
Because I want to give respect to undefeated teams. But I think there's reason to be afraid of the Saints with Drew Brees, given that they've won without their starting quarterback.
I want to give some shout-outs to Chris Jones and Captain for subscribing. Much appreciated. Type sub in the comments if you want a shout-out.
All right, next up, Vic Beasley and Mitch. I feel like you're trolling me by including this in the show. To the Cowboys? Question mark?
So Sports Illustrated wrote a few. They wrote an article, Tom. Okay, and they basically wrote
as opposed
trades.
to they wrote a video.
They wrote trades that they believe are going to happen, and in that they wrote Vic Beasley to the Dallas Cowboys.
Bet.
Okay,
bet.
So they go on to say that the Cowboys, they have $24 million in cap space. And they go on to say that it would be a great fit with the Cowboys. So, yes, I do want to see what you think about this move, Vic Beasley to Dallas.
Look, if money wasn't a thing, sure, why not? Here's the thing with Vic Beasley, though. He's making $12.8 million in his base salary this year. Now, you cut that in about half, and not really half. It's a little bit more than half, but that's, they pay it out by week. So we'll just say 6.5. We'll round a little bit. This is not worth $6.5 million. There's just no way. Vic Beasley is a name brand.
Yes.
That's what he is. But the problem is the production is actually not very good. Here's his pressure rate by year. That 2016 year when he had that 15.5 sack was up at around 11.2%.
Numbers brought to you by Tom.
Yes. These numbers, by the way, it just basically means how often do you get a pressure per snap. The problem is, these numbers are worse than all of the Cowboys' edge rushers.
Okay.
Vic Beasley is producing at a rate worse than DeMarcus Lawrence, worse than Quinn, worse than Kerry Hyder, Dorrance Armstrong, and Joe Jackson. So at that point, well, what's the point? Beyond, they're not getting all that many sacks, although the pressure rates are actually pretty good. They're just not getting home because the ball's out so quickly these days in the NFL. Vic Beasley doesn't do anything for you. So I am very much against this idea in a trade. Now, if he's a free agent and he wants to sign for an entire year for like $2 or $3 million, that's a different discussion. But a trade, I don't think makes sense here.
All right, just wanted to get your feathers a little bit ruffled up here. So who wants a shout-out? I told people if you type sub, but you got to be a subscriber at youtube.com/chatsportstv. I'll give some shout-outs. So Ryan, Jared Sanchez, Auntie Petrish, hopefully I got that right. If you want a shout-out, we're going to be giving them out all day, okay? All day, but you got to click that subscribe button, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Type sub if you're a subscriber.
Let's move on to Leonard Williams and the Eagles here, Mitch. Now, this one I actually like this idea for Philadelphia. What's going on here?
What's going on? I love it. So Sports Illustrated, again, they wrote that this trade makes a lot of sense for the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Eagles, they just lost Malik Jackson for the entire season. And after watching the game that I had to witness on Sunday Night Football, if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, you got to say, okay.
Ooh, and if you're the Jets, you got to sell.
Absolutely. If you're the Jets, you got to sell. But if you're the Eagles, you're like, all right, we need to be able to contend with the Dallas Cowboys if we have any chance in winning this division. And from what I've seen from Sunday Night Football, I don't think they can do it. So perhaps you can go out and get a player like Leonard Williams on your front. then maybe you can stop a guy like Ezekiel Elliott.
And we know the Eagles are very aggressive about making moves. They are coming off the loss there. They still want to be a playoff contender. The numbers have been fairly steady for Leonard Williams, especially in terms of the tackles for loss, beyond that 2017 season.
And I can't picture Howie Roseman watching Sunday Night Football and not doing anything. Yeah. So that's why ultimately I think Leonard Williams would be a major, major upgrade here for at least just depth, right? I mean, this is a great defensive line. Let's not get that twisted.
At the top. Because the injuries have kind of deprived them a little bit. On the interior, we love Fletcher Cox. We know he's great. Timmy Jernigan is a bit banged up right now. I think Hassan Ridgway went like an hour ago on IR, actually.
Oh, geez.
So they're desperately thin there on the defensive line.
So this is fun. The NFC East standings.
The Cowboys at the top.
Right now. Yes, Tom. I can already tell you're excited about this. So they're 3-0 in the division. And from what it looks like, Dak Prescott just straight up owns Carson Wentz.
He owns the NFC East, actually.
The entire thing.
Yeah, he wins the vast majority of his games. It's crazy, right?
Hey, go figure. But hey, when you're playing the Giants and Redskins, maybe not that impressive. But the real two teams here are the Cowboys and the Eagles. Who will win the NFC East? I want you to type C for Cowboys or type E for Eagles.
You're going with the Cowboys, Mitch. But you seem to be very nonplussed by it.
I just don't like saying anything positive at times about the Dallas Cowboys.
How professionally responsible of you.
Now, who's going to win the NFC East? Let us know in the comments section if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook. Seeing a lot of C's. Jared Sanchez says Eagles. You got some Jack Miller's going with the Eagles. Ryan says Eagles. And then Ryan, he's still sticking with the Eagles. I was going to say, a lot of C's and E's. Who will win the NFC East? Type C for Cowboys or E for Eagles.
Now, if you feel good about one of those bets, go put your money where your mouth is on BetDSI. Chatsports.com/bet. That promo code right there, NFL120, gets you a 120% deposit bonus. So you put down $50, they're going to give you $60 for free. So, you got all the extra money you could possibly want on there on BetDSI. This is the single best betting deal out there. Chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code NFL120. Good bet idea. Don't bet on the Cincinnati Bengals because they're not very good at football. And Tyler Eifert, Mitch, is our next rumor. Could he be on his way to the Seattle Seahawks?
Well, according to some sources, Tyler Eifert could be linked to the Seattle Seahawks because the Seattle Seahawks lost Will Dissly, who I was a big fan of. Will Dissly. I thought he fed that offense pretty well. Luke Wilson is now back with Seattle. Gives Russell Wilson maybe a little bit of an option. But you need to be able to surround Russell Wilson, I think, with a little bit more talent. And if I'm the Seahawks, I go, oh, man, the San Francisco 49ers, the best team right now in our division, they just went out and traded for Emmanuel Sanders. Maybe we need to get Russell another option because, Tom, the Seattle Seahawks tight end situation is ugly. But Tyler Eifert, this is what he's done this year. And I think he's a good tight end. But when we talk about Tyler Eifert, it's never really about the on-the-field production. It's can he stay healthy? And for a Seahawks team that's struggling, I'll say, to find healthy bodies, maybe going out and getting Tyler Eifert isn't the best option. However, it's a major upgrade.
Their number one tight end can't even spell his own name right. He has 2 L's in it.
I mean, that is how you spell his name.
I know, but he spells it wrong.
He got cut by the Oakland Raiders. Now, the Raiders, I think, have one of the best tight ends in the NFL right now in Darren Waller. However, you got Luke Wilson. You got, Jake American Eagle, or whatever the heck his name is, Hollister.
Jacob. You were correct the first time.
Yeah, Jacob Hollister. Right, and then Swoops, another tight end that was cut. So I think you could ultimately add Tyler Eifert to be a huge upgrade here for this defense. Tight end group.
Let's talk more trades here. How about Cam Newton, Mitch? This is one of the ones that's kind of been lurking around the NFL rumor mill. What's going on with Newton and his future in Carolina?
So according to Mike Freeman, Tom, there are several teams highly interested in Cam Newton. And then this also goes on to say, though, that the Carolina Panthers, they're not going to trade him in season. If anything, they're going to wait until after the season for the simple reason that
it makes way more sense to wait. We said
a week ago. Which is what we've been saying. Yeah. The reason why that this is even a discussion at this point is because Cam Newton is 0-2 in the beginning of the year, and Kyle Allen is 5-0 as a starter when you also date back to last year, 4-0 this year. The thing that I'm interested to see, though, is if Cam Newton were to be traded.
I think you maximize your value by waiting. I know the report was that it wasn't a trade-friendly contract, which, by the way, it is. It's below $20 million.
I was going to say, he makes $16.2 million this year and then $18.6.
It's heavy enough that it doesn't really work in season, but after the year ends, that does become a very trade-friendly contract. You're paying Cam Newton at the rate of a low-end starter. That's a worthwhile gamble here. Here are some teams that we think make sense, led by the Bears, because Mitchell Trubisky
It's bad.
doesn't appear to be it. And Phillip Rivers is seemingly on his last legs in L.A.
Well, at least he's got legs, because right now Cam Newton is still dealing with that Liz Frank injury, and I don't know if he's ever going to play this season again, but they do have a very, very big game this weekend against the 49ers.
Let's talk then about the San Francisco 49ers. Could they trade Nick Mullens? Mitch, you could even say that the Niners are mulling the offer.
Boo.
Ba-dum.
Everyone boo Tom in the comments. I better see 1,000 boos. Boo. So according to a source, Tom, the Niners have had teams call asking about Nick Mullens. This is prime time. Oh, wait. The NFL trade deadline's in 2 weeks. Maybe if we can make a rumor that teams are interested in Nick Mullens, somebody's going to go out and trade for Nick Mullens.
I don't know why the Niners would do it, though. Like, look, Jimmy Garoppolo has a history of health issues. I would keep him.
Yes.
Again, this is an off-season trade because the team thinks Mullens could be their starter.
Sure.
Not because, I guess maybe the Bears could do it. But I think for the Niners,
he's also a
you
fan
keep
favorite.
Mullens.
Like, I mean, you have to respect Nick Mullens. I mean, look what
He's
he did
better
last
than
year.
C.J. Beathard. You don't want him playing games.
Well, that's a fact. But I mean, you have to consider the fact, like, Mullens came right in, right? 13 touchdowns, 10 interceptions last year. They didn't really have a lot of options whatsoever. I just think this is one of those where if somebody calls, you pick up the phone. So if you're John Lynch, you pick up the phone, you say, okay, what you got for me? If it's not ultimately exciting enough, you're not going to do it. Also, Tom, there's a lot of boos in the comments section. And what up, Sarah? Appreciate the compliment.
I don't think the Niners will trade Nick Mullens. They're certainly not going to trade him before this game against the Carolina Panthers. They are at home this weekend. So, Mitch, who do you got?
Oh, boy. Well, you got to think about this, right? The 49ers, they're the favorites, 5.5. So before I give my answer, what do you guys want? Panthers or Niners? Type P for Panthers.
There are a lot of boos in the comments, by the way.
For Niners.
People did not like my not clever pun.
Nick DeVito's going to go with the Niners. Okay. Seeing a Panthers from Jared Sanchez. For me, though, I'm going to go with the 49ers. They're playing really, really well right now. I think that they have actually the best defense in the NFL, even over the
Look at
Patriots.
Hater Mitch here.
Hey, if you perform well, guess what? I'm going to give you I literally ate crow on the show. It wasn't real crow.
Mitch, you're not being as much of a hater anymore, but we still hate commercials here at Chat Sports. Get rid of them once and for all. That free phone football commercial, I hate it. I almost dropped the F-bomb there. I hate it so much. It is the worst commercial of all time. Just ban it from the internet and from TV forever. Instead, download the MyTV Choice app. Get it today. It's free. Chatsports.com/MyTV. Download the app. Hook it up with your smart TV.
That's a good effort.
The app knows when commercials comes on and will instead send you different videos like stuff here from Chat Sports.
So download it. It's free. Chatsports.com/MyTV. How about this? Download the MyTV Choice app. Maybe we can get Tom to drop a real F-bomb.
I have done that before on the Cowboys Report, but the bosses don't always like it when I do that. All right, Nick Foles. He's next up here.
That begins with an F.
He is nicely done there.
Words with friends here at Chat Sports.
Okay. He is back at practice on Wednesday. The plan here is to get him back to the team Week 11. The question, though, Mitch, is he going to be the starter, or is that going to remain?
It's fun, right? I mean, like, Minshew Mania has just absolutely taken over the NFL. I mean, it's hard to argue, right? He's got a great mustache, and he looks a lot better than Nick Foles.
Okay.
But when Nick Foles went down with that broken collarbone, I don't really think anybody anticipated Gardner Minshew to play as well as he has.
Agreed.
But you don't pay Nick Foles $88 million, $50 guaranteed for when he comes back to not playing. Now, sure, last season with the Eagles, and when you really think about Nick Foles, Tom, you think about the magical playoff run, the Super Bowl MVP, but you have to play Nick Foles, right? I mean, Gardner's been great. There's no doubt that Gardner's been great as a fill-in.
Kind of regressed a little bit the past 2 weeks. The Saints and Bengals have given him some problems.
Well, it's almost like teams are starting to get film on him, and then they're like, okay, now we're filling out this strength and weakness.
This is why I always say, by the way, and Minshew is going to have a long career in the NFL. At worst, he's going to be a fantastic backup and then have a long career as a coach. This is also why I always tell people, hey, you can't react to 3 games worth of NFL quarterbacks. Minshew, Daniel Jones, it's not a surprise they've run into issues. That's the nature of first-year quarterbacks.
So who do you want starting at quarterback? Let's say you guys are running the Jags, which then I'd probably say I'm sorry to hear that. Who do you want starting at quarterback? Type F for Foles or type M for Minshew. Let us hear it in the comments section. Seeing a lot of M's, which I'm not too surprised by.
You're going Foles, though.
I'm going to go with Foles. I think when you have to pay somebody that much money, and I still think Nick Foles is the better option. I truly do believe that. I think Nick Foles is a good quarterback.
Well, as someone who's never really believed in Nick Foles here, I am not bound by the, well, I paid him money, so I'm going to go with Gardner Minshew.
Hell yeah.
Stick with Minshew Mania. The Knicks made a mistake by getting rid of Jeremy Lin. Jack should not make the same mistake by getting rid of Gardner Minshew. By the way, we did put this up as a poll question on our channel. 57% voting in favor of Gardner Minshew. Can't say I'm surprised.
I like it.
Now, we saw some of this in the comments as well. Josh Gordon, it appears that Flash is done in New England. The Patriots have placed him on IR. However, Josh Gordon says he is close to returning. So, what you could see happen here is that the Patriots could choose to waive Josh Gordon from IR, allowing him to sign with a new team. Now, the Patriots can't really trade him because he's on IR. But I would not rule out the possibility, Mitch, that Gordon goes to somewhere else in the near future.
That'd be pretty interesting. Also, you said flash, so if this video can get 500 likes, Tom will flash the camera.
That's not at all what I said.
Oh my, you wouldn't do it for 500 likes?
Let's see what happens. Get to 500 and we'll see there.
Oh, come on.
All right, the last one here, another receiver. How about Robbie Anderson? Mitch, could the Jets trade him away?
I'll tell you what, this is one of the most bizarre pictures I've ever seen.
I think Robbie Anderson looks great.
Do you? I'm sure you do. So several teams, though, Tom, they're interested in Anderson. It's basically around the whole idea that the Jets, they're going to be in full-on fire sale mode. But if you remember last year, there was also multiple teams interested in Robbie Anderson. I think Anderson's one of these wide receivers where sometimes he looks really, really good. And then there's other times where his quarterback looks like he's seeing ghosts and he's not getting the football. And I think
the Jets didn't like that. You can't acknowledge that Sam Darnold sees ghosts.
I mean, it was one of the worst games I have ever witnessed from a starting quarterback. My dad called me and goes, I can't believe that's what we drafted. But that's besides the point. So Anderson, though, is in the final year of his rookie deal, so he's about to get paid. But the numbers that he's putting up this year, I don't really know if it's so much on him as much as it is, I'll say.
They didn't have Sam Darnold for over half the year. And Anderson is a deep threat. So
Luke Falk was a ghost.
There is some inconsistency there. That's just the way I view it there. All right, so get your trade predictions here in the comment section. Fill in the blank. Blank, i.e. player, will be traded to what team? Mitch, any quick thoughts here on an idea that you like a lot?
Vic Beasley will be traded to the Cowboys.
Stop. I don't like that one at all.
Leonard Williams will be traded to the Oakland Raiders.
Okay, that one I like. That's a good idea right there.